Good morning, everyone. So good to see so many bright, shiny faces on this beautiful spring day. It's going to hit record temperatures maybe today, which is so beautiful. Okay, I'm going to start off with a song that's very much call and response. So Donna Lynn, who sings so strongly and we love her, is going to help out with the responses. So feel free to join her too. Oh, let me love in a holy, holy way. Let me love in a holy, holy way. Oh, let me love in a holy, holy way. Let me love in a holy, holy way. Oh, let me live in a holy, holy way. Let me live in a holy, holy way. Oh, let me live in a holy, holy way. Let me live in a holy, holy way. Oh, let me know that love is all around. Let me know that love is all around. Oh, let me know that love is all around. Let me know love is all around. Oh, let me love in a holy, holy way. Oh, let me love in a holy, holy way. Oh, let me love in a holy, holy way. Let me love in a holy, holy way. Oh, let me live in a holy, holy way. Let me live in a holy, holy way. Oh, let me learn from all the ways I fall. Let me learn from all the ways I fall. Oh, let me know that I love Him. Oh, let me know that love can heal us all. Let me know that love can heal us all. Oh, let me live in a holy, holy way. Oh, let me live in a holy, holy way. Oh, let me serve in a holy, holy way. Let me serve in a holy, holy way. Oh, let me share the good that overflows. Let me share the good that overflows. Oh, let me love in a holy, holy way. Let me love in a holy, holy way.
Thank you. That was beautiful. So today we have Malin Faulkner, who's bringing our music to us, and we want to thank her for being here. She comes from a long ways. We want to thank Justine Talley for her prayers today. They set the stage for what's next. And I wanted to let you know that after service, if you'd like to pray with Justine, she'd be happy to do that. Or you can also fill out a prayer request and put it in the prayer box in the back. And I want to thank Ken Reinhardt. He keeps everything moving and in order, and I am so thankful for you. And I am Lori Smith. I'm the spiritual leader here. And I just want to welcome all of you. I want you to know how special it is that you're here with us today and how much we appreciate your positive energy and love that just fills this sanctuary. So please join me in our statement of faith. There is only one power and one presence in the universe and in my life, God, the good, omnipotent.
Surely the presence of God is in this place. I can feel the mighty power and the grace. I can hear the rush of angels' wings. I see glory on each face. Surely the presence of God is in this place. Surely the presence of God is in this place. I can feel the mighty power and the grace. I can hear the brush of angels' wings. I see glory on each face. Surely the presence of God is in this place.
Good morning. As you continue to deeply relax and allow your chair to support you fully, and as you close your eyes gently if you wish, and breathe, just breathe in the life of the divine. Know that God's healing energy surges through us, vitalizing us with life. We are the life of the divine, and it surges through us. It surges through our heart center, our closet, where we could always go to meet the divine and to spiritualize with the divine. We know that the healing life of the divine is moving throughout our bodies. We know that the divine's healing energy is not only surging through us, it also resides in us. We become aware of each cell of the many trillions of our body lighting up with the love and life of the divine. Let us do that now. As we continue to celebrate the divine in each of us on this beautiful, beautiful day, Palm Sunday, we are grateful that we have this time to celebrate and to deeply celebrate. We come here to celebrate and to convene with each other and with the divine. And we are so grateful. We are now ready to continue our service. And we are thankful for that. And so it is. Amen.
Thank you, Justine. This is a song that I felt was appropriate for what Jesus taught us, and that is to love. And I imagined as I was preparing this, how even though he knew what was happening, he still had love for everyone. I'm gonna let love show me the way. I'm gonna let love hold me every day. I'm gonna let love get love to carry me through. I'm gonna let love lead me to you. I'm gonna know love every day. I'm gonna know love in every way. I'm gonna know love, grow love, and show love is true. I'm gonna let love lead me to you, to you. I open my heart to you, my love from the start to you. I give and receive. I believe I'm gonna be loved every day. I'm gonna be loved in every way. I'm gonna be loved and see love more than I knew. I'm gonna let love lead me to you, to you. I open my heart to you, my love from the start to you. I give and receive. I believe I'm gonna give love every day. I'm gonna give love in every way. I'm gonna give love and live love with more than a few. I'm gonna let love lead me to you. Oh, I'm gonna let love lead me to you. Oh, I'm gonna let love lead me to you.
That was beautiful. So today is Palm Sunday, beginning of Holy Week, and I wanted to just start off by telling you a little story. It was Palm Sunday, but Johnny was feeling sick, so he stayed home with babysitter while the rest of his family went to church. And when the family came home, they were all carrying palm fronds. He asked, "What are those?" And his dad said, "They're palm fronds." People held them above Jesus' head as he walked by them. And he says, "Well, just my luck. The one Sunday you don't make me go to church and Jesus shows up." So today is Palm Sunday. It's the beginning of Holy Week. It was the last week of Jesus' life on earth. Millions of people around the world celebrate, reflect, and are in prayer and gratitude for a man that changed the world with his radical teachings on love. Even though his life was short, he lived to be into his early 30s, and his public teachings only lasted 1 to 4 years. His life and the way he lived had a profound impact on our world. It was a couple of thousand years ago, and we are still talking about him and his teachings. And for me, that is very hopeful. The story of Holy Week is told in all 4 Gospels, Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. All the writers felt that it was significant and included it in their writings. The Bible that I use includes explanations of historical context, so it's really helpful for me when I read a scripture to kind of know what was going on in the world at that time. And it tells us in those times, processions were very important occasions. Jesus rode into Jerusalem on a donkey, conveying humble service and peace. He didn't choose a horse, which was the way of many kings. Crowds laid their cloaks and branches of palm trees on the road to welcome Jesus, and they shouted, "Hosanna to the Son of David. Blessed is he who comes in the name of the Lord." Hosanna in Judaism was a plea to be saved. The Jews were oppressed by the Romans and hoped that Jesus would lead them in a revolt against Rome. But Jesus' journey wasn't about war. It was to practice and teach a way of life connected to divine spirit and be the expression of spirit through his acts and compassion for all. The crowd gathered around Jesus, and some asked, "Who is he?" And others said, "He is the prophet, Jesus." In revealing word that was written by Charles Fillmore, our co-founder, it says that a prophet is one who receives the inspiration of spirit, understands the spiritual law, and imparts it to others. I would say that was a pretty good description of Jesus. At the center of Jesus' life was a profound and continuous relationship with divine spirit. He referred to spirit as Abba, which was the Aramaic word for father, reflecting just a close personal relationship with spirit. Marcus J. Borg is the author and teacher described as the leading figure in his generation, which he passed about 10 years ago, of Jesus scholars. He stated in his book, Meeting Jesus Again for the First Time, the most crucial factor about Jesus was that he was a spirit person, a mediator of the sacred, one of those people in human history to whom the spirit was an experiential reality. These experiences involve momentary entry into non-ordinary states of consciousness. In other words, they sense there is more to reality than the tangible world of our ordinary experience, something beyond our five senses. Marcus Borg goes on to describe mediators of the sacred as those who become conduits for the power or wisdom of God to enter into this world. Jesus used spiritual practices, fasting, prayer, and wordless meditation. James Dillett Freeman, former director of Silent Unity, described the silence as a holy place of stillness and peace. In his article, In the Silence, he states that the purpose of silence is an awareness of God. The silence is within you. It is a prayer that relaxes the body, opens the mind, and tunes out the five senses. So I have a prayer written by Clarence Edwin Flynn on the silence. This is the secret closet where the door is closed and where faith moves in triumphant progress up the shining aisles of prayer. Here where a host uncounted has beaten a path to seek, my soul doth wait in the silence to see what the Lord will speak. To him who is love unbounded, I come with a voiceless plea, knowing his perfect wisdom has an open door for me. I have but to trust his goodness and to listen and obey. My soul doth wait in the silence to hear what the Lord will say. The psalmist calls the secret place of the Most High. Secret place of the Most High. In the silence is that place within us in which we feel the presence of divine spirit. And for me, I move into that sacred space by opening my heart and just feel the expansiveness of my soul. TruthUnity.net has a lesson on the silence, and it makes a good point to not be discouraged if you're not able to enter into that sacred place of the Most High or close the door on the outer world. It's achieved with regular practice. Regular prayer time is helpful. Time to be with divine spirit who is ever present whenever we turn our attention inward. Another spiritual practice available to us is our Labyrinth in the Courtyard. It's used for walking meditation. We have a sacred past spirit group that's learning about the labyrinth, powerful way to quiet our thoughts and open our hearts to divine spirit. It is an amazing tool for us that has been around for thousands of years. The oldest labyrinth dates back to like 2000 before Christ. And I don't know if Jesus ever had the opportunity to walk a labyrinth, but he did walk great distances. And I'm sure he used some of that time to commune with Spirit. So the first time I walked this labyrinth, I just had a class from Reverend Susan. And after class, we all walked the labyrinth together, and the sun was shining. The trees stood tall, just gave us a little shade over the labyrinth. I wanted to feel the ground, and I removed my sandals to walk barefoot. A scripture came to mind for me. It's from Exodus: "Remove the sandals from your feet, for the place on which you are standing is holy ground." It just brought that awareness of the presence of Spirit. On my turn, I stepped into the labyrinth, feeling the cool dirt beneath my feet. My intention going in was just to quiet my mind and find my natural pace. A question had been on my mind. I'd been thinking about what is next for me? What is mine to do? And so I moved into the center of the labyrinth in prayer and meditation, requesting that whatever was needed to be revealed would help me to move forward. And I heard something. I heard, "You are on a path, a journey. Do not busy yourself with unimportant things." And as I journeyed back out of the labyrinth, I felt this sense of urgency. There's something I needed to do, and I was still open to it. Of course, praying for clarification what that was. And it was not long after that Reverend Shad Groverland came to our church to speak, and he talked about the spiritual education and enrichment classes that were available to me, which I never had known about. And afterwards, I was excited to go up to him and find out more about it. And I felt drawn to attend these classes, of which I got so much out of these classes. It was wonderful. And then after I finished those, I felt drawn to learn more about the licensed Unity teacher. And so I attended those classes. And about a year ago, I felt drawn to apply for ministerial school, which I'm in the process right now. So we may receive a message on the labyrinth, and it may come to us over time. But do we put it aside because of whatever reason we might have, or do we follow it in faith, knowing something will unfold in divine order? I've walked over other labyrinths since then. This picture is the one it's a beautiful labyrinth at Unity Village. And I've heard other messages, not as life-changing as the first one, but nevertheless important. And at other times, I feel in the silence of Spirit, just feeling a sense of peace, love, sometimes strength. And maybe there are times in your life that you could use a sense of peace, love, or strength to follow through on whatever is yours to do. In John 13, following the Last Supper that Jesus had with his disciples before his arrest, he knew that he would depart from this world and go to the Father. It states in the Bible, having loved his own who were in the world, he loved them to the end. The meal ends with Jesus' prayer that God's love will remain present in the world and that the community's life will be shaped by that love. Jesus then washed the feet of the disciples and dried them. And afterwards he stated, I have washed your feet. You also ought to wash one another's feet. Jesus was telling them to love one another as he had loved them. And as we begin Holy Week, we can reflect on these loving words. We are reminded to nurture the relationships that we have with our family and our friends and our neighbors, to practice unconditional love, selfless love. When Scott and I lived in Arizona, we lived on a street with lots of other young parents and lots of kids. On this one street, it was filled with families. The couple that lived across the street from us had each brought children from previous marriages into this marriage, and they wanted to have a child together. When this baby was born, he had a really rare birth defect, and I couldn't remember what it was called, but how it impacted him is his head was disproportionately large. He did not have the bones around his eyes to hold his eye in well. They had to rebuild that. But for a while, when he was young, I think he was probably about 6 or 7 when we moved in, there were some problems with his eyes. It affected his language. It affected his ability to move. But the parents were so devoted to all of the children, and they were determined to give their youngest the same opportunities given to the others. They helped him to play on a softball team, and which was really exciting because Scott and I got to see this. Not only did this little boy's team cheer for him, the other team cheered for him. And it was wonderful to see the whole family supported him and loved him and treated him with kindness. And then that kind of spread out to the neighborhood because all the kids in the neighborhood were kind to this little boy, helped him, supported him. And it was wonderful to see that because sometimes you don't see that with young children. They don't understand because it did change his appearance on his face, this birth defect. So we moved away from that neighborhood, and it was many years later. We had the opportunity to meet up with them and a little family get-together, and we got to see this boy who is now a young man, and he was amazing. He had the best sense of humor. He was so kind to his family, and he was working a job that he really enjoyed. He had just blossomed, and I really feel like it was the experiences and the love that his parents had given to him that had he just seemed to thrive, which was, such a blessing. I just really respected this family, these parents. And Jesus' message of love was shared and practiced in so many ways by so many people right up to his last days. We are blessed to have examples all around us every day. During Holy Week, Jesus went with a couple of disciples to the Garden of Gethsemane to pray about his future, knowing that one of his disciples would betray him by giving a sign to the Romans of where to find Jesus. And during his prayer, Jesus seems to find acceptance in what is and strength to follow through, stating, "Not my will, but thy will." He sets a strong example of faith, devotion, surrender, and courage. Fortunately, we are not facing these kinds of challenges, but we all still have struggles and challenges in our lives. Sometimes just accepting what is can be truly difficult. And knowing that what I want for myself may not be in my control. Many people find themselves stuck in that place. And maybe you can think of a time when you felt this way. How can we follow the example of Jesus to stand strong in our faith, connected to divine spirit, and courageously moving forward? How do we draw from the Christ, our divine self within, to do what we need to do? Many years ago, Scott and I were invited to an awards dinner for Arizona police officers. The keynote speaker was Jason Schechterle. He was a motivational speaker who came to do the dinner to tell his story. Growing up, Jason had always wanted to be a Phoenix police officer. It was his dream job. He served 4 years in the Air Force, and then at age 26, he did become a Phoenix police officer, working on the streets of Phoenix, Arizona. 14 months into living this dream, a taxi cab driver having a seizure lost control of his car and traveled over 100 miles an hour to hit the rear of Jason's patrol car. At impact, the police car exploded into flames. From the time he was hit until he was pulled from the car was 90 seconds. Another miracle was 2.5 miles away was Maricopa County Medical Center. It's one of the best burn centers in the United States. And within 8 minutes, he was on their trauma table. He suffered severe burns to 40% of his body. It is a miracle that he lived. It drastically altered his physical appearance, of which I did not show today, because it is a lot to take in. He lost some of his fingers. He had over 50 surgeries to be able to do simple tasks. He woke up in a hospital 3 months later to learn what had happened to him, to hear that he would never be a police officer again. He would never play his favorite game of golf again. He said that once he accepted what had happened, he was able to begin building a positive attitude. He found his sense of humor. In one of his videos, he told a funny joke about his experience, but he deeply embraced gratitude. He was determined to return to work, to play golf, to be a dad to his children. 18 months later, he had his third child. He returned to work as a detective and went back to playing golf. He said, life is about 10% of what happens to us and 90% of how we react to it. You get to choose your attitude. Jason grew up in Phoenix, Arizona, and whenever he saw the graphic of a phoenix, it signified the human spirit. He said, you can't touch it, taste it, or see it, but the human spirit is the most powerful entity in the world. I might add there's divine spirit too, but I'm not sure what his faith was. I hear he had faith, but I wasn't familiar with what it was. You just have to choose to let it soar and rise from the fire. He figured out something that meant so much to him that he had it tattooed on his arm. Sometimes the most beautiful, inspirational changes will disguise themselves as utter devastation. Be patient. Jason's story is about life, rebirth, and transformation. Good Friday is the day we remember that Jesus died by crucifixion. Some believe it was developed from an older name, God's Friday. So I'm not sure exactly where Good Friday came from, but that was a theory. In Luke 23:34, Jesus says, Father, forgive them, for they do not know what they are doing. Even while he suffered, he's able to extend forgiveness to his enemies. I am humbled and inspired by his words of forgiveness. I am reminded that even when I am in a painful or difficult situation, I have the power to forgive. In Revealing Word was written by our co-founder, Charles Fillmore. Forgiveness really means the giving up of something. And when you forgive yourself, you give up that behavior, you cease doing the things you should not do, and it is through forgiveness that true spiritual healing is accomplished. Forgiveness doesn't mean that the behavior was appropriate. It just means that the person doing the forgiving is no longer carrying around the burden of anger and blame, that we focus on the person who we believe caused us harm. I had an experience of carrying around the burden of unforgiveness many years ago. It's very heavy, I will tell you that. My husband Scott and I were driving with our oldest son, who was a baby. We're going to go make arrangements for his christening. The back seat of our car was too narrow to attach his baby seat, so I was holding him in my arms. And a car ran a red light, hit the car next to us, spinning the car before it came crashing into the driver's side of our car, and it totaled our car. We came to find out later that the driver of the car ran the red light and had likely been under the influence of substances. But Scott, our son, and I went to the hospital, and it took a pretty long while for us to heal physically and for me emotionally, because I felt a lot of anger towards this person who had ran the red light and hurt my family and myself. I was definitely in a victim state, which is not a healthy place to be. Why me? Why did this happen? You go in circles, right? It took a lot of prayer to see the situation from a different perspective. But I actually learned a great lesson from that situation. Prior to the crash, I had believed that if I lived a good life, that big struggles and traumas would not come my way. Now, I was young, I was naive, I had no idea yet, but I read this really great book by a rabbi, and his son had passed, and the book is Bad Things Happen to Good People. And I learned that there will be struggles in life for good people and bad people. However, I could forgive the man that hit us. I realized I didn't really know if he'd been using substances. I didn't really know why he had driven through the red light, and I had no idea of what kind of day he had before the crash. But I did know that I could heal. I could move forward. I was able to let go of the situation finally, to focus my energy on healing my family and myself. And I feel like forgiving was a gift I gave to myself. In Jesus' last hours, when one of the criminals that was crucified near Jesus said, "Jesus, remember me when you come into your kingdom." And Jesus replied, "Truly, I tell you, today you will be with me in paradise." Jesus gave the promise of God's garden of renewal and hope. During Holy Week, Jesus' final week on earth, he continued to teach us the way of love. Let us embrace those ways this week and every week. May we embrace humility, unconditional love, surrender to Spirit, forgiveness, and the promise of renewal and hope. Let's take that into meditation. So I invite you into a time that we can just relax in your chair, allow it to support you in a comfortable position. Breathe in a few deep breaths, and with each exhalation, release any tension, concerns, or negative thoughts. Breathe gently and easily, just noticing the rhythm of your breath. We quiet our minds and become still, allowing this feeling of peace and comfort to relax every muscle in your body, from the crown of your head to your jaw, neck, shoulders, chest, arms, torso, and legs, and into your feet, grounded to the floor. Turning within to the sacred space where we are centered in spirit, we move our thoughts into a holy place of stillness and peace. Divine love and peace fill my heart, radiating out to the sanctuary and our community. The ever-flowing positive energy permeates my mind and being as we listen for the still, small voice in the silence. I am humble. I am forgiving. I am love. As you return to this room, begin to hear the sounds around you and gently stretch. Open your eyes when you are ready. I rejoice in this insight and new way of seeing who I am and all that I can do to be the light of the world. I am grateful for the example that Jesus left the world, for the world. And as we become fully present with this lingering joy, we are revitalized with the love and energy to do what is ours to do. And so it is. Amen.
Hallelujah, 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 hallelujah. We are one now, 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 we are one now.
So now is the time for our offertory blessing. And we have all different ways to contribute to our spiritual community. You could do checks, cash, square in the back, donate on the phone. All of those ways, just know that whatever you contribute is greatly appreciated. And that we share this with other nonprofits during the year to help support our community with that. And the one thing I would say is your presence is the greatest gift that you can give to this community. Your energy, your love, just know that you are so important here. So join me. Divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive.
I look around at the faces that I see, all the lovely people looking back at me. Rich, poor, no matter, we're all the same. Everybody's hungry in a different way. But what the world needs now is love, love and only love. A little help from deep within, faith to make a better day. Let's come together, lay our differences down, spread the world around. What the world needs now. Sometimes all it takes is is just a smile to change somebody's weather, change the clouds out of the sky. Sometimes you gotta give and not receive. Sometimes you gotta love what you believe. Open your arms, cover your heart right now. 'Cause what the world needs now is love, love and only love. A little help from deep within, faith to make a better day. Let's come together, lay our differences down, spread the world around. That's what the world needs now. What the world needs now is love, love and only love. A little help from deep within, faith to make a better day. Let's get together, lay your differences down, spread the world around. Let the world be loved.
Thank you. Perfect song. So join me for our prayer for protection. The light of God surrounds us. I am that light. The love of God enfolds us. I am that love. The power of God protects us. I am that power. The presence of God watches over us. I am that presence. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well.